What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and we are back to talk about Sistas season 6, episode 17. Now, y'all, we missed episode 15 and 16, okay? Because I'm your girl gonna be honest. Sistas just hasn't been given. But I said, you know what? We are not in the business of not finishing what we started, especially if it's a show that we are always reviewing and always on top of. So I had some things to say after this episode, but y'all, let's just get into it, shall we?
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming in with a force, yeah. Blessings we are reap and we coursing on full. But we not rise on board. Yeah, we give thanks like we need it the most. We have to give thanks like we really supposed to be thankful. Blessings all for my life, man. But thank God for the journey, the earning, the task, the plus. Yeah, gratitude is a must. Yeah, blessings all for my right hand. But I toast to the friends that take off to be Lord one time. Sit down in a class and we pour that only see the road and we go on with the road.
Looking for ways to improve your health? Look no further. Visit www.shayreneeonline, where we provide healing beyond the prescription pad. We have hand-blended teas and herbs that are going to provide you with ultimate immune health, cold-pressed juices, as well as sea moss gels that are going to provide you with your daily vitamins and nutrients in just 2 tablespoons. Shop www.shayrenee.net and receive free shipping on all orders over $75. Don't wait, because a healthy life is ahead. All right, y'all, we are back to talk about Sistas. Okay, now let me tell you something about this episode. It has been very, very draining watching Sistas this season. I can't wait until they're supposed to have new writers for season 7, where Tyler Perry will no longer be writing the show. But I kind of don't wholeheartedly believe that. I don't believe that he's going to completely step away and not write anything. But any new perspective at this point would be so much more refreshing and so much better, because the storylines just don't make any sense. Nothing is cohesive. Nothing just it doesn't make sense. And there are characters that just need to go ahead and exit left off of this show. Number 1 being Gary. Number 2, I'm kind of on the fence with Maurice. Like, Maurice has just been rude for no reason. And it's just like, we got to define. I don't want him to leave, but I want to define his character more. It can't just be these snarky remarks and that's it, because they don't have proper placement. The scenes are too long. They're talking about things that just are not cohesive. They don't remember. It's like Tyler Perry, certain parts of the show, you can tell that he reads our comments. You can tell, because then he tries to add it into the upcoming seasons. But he doesn't. It still don't make no sense. But y'all, let's just get into it, okay? So the episode starts off where Danny, she decided, as we know from last episode, to go to work on time, child. And we know Danny ass don't never freaking go to work on time. So there's one day you want to take your ragged ass on to work on time. Okay. Now, Danny, you are something else. You have had all these things going on with you with men, and now the minute that you find a black man, because if y'all remember, Danny always used to tell Preston, "Oh yeah, you don't know what it's like to be with a black woman. You don't know how to treat a black woman. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what I like." But then Preston, he loved her enough, because he's like, "Okay, now that all I'm asking you to do is tell me what I need to do. What am I doing wrong?" Now that don't have nothing to do with color. There's a lot of men, black, white, blue, and green. They don't know what the hell we want. Women are the most complicated individuals ever. Okay, period. No matter what color you are. And finally, when Preston learns what she wants and needs, her favorite restaurant, her favorite things to do, you know, she's still trying to find ways to find something wrong with him. Girl, just say you don't want to be with the man. Okay, just say you don't want to be with the man because you are up here wasting all of the viewers and his time. It's just getting ridiculous at this point. And it's just like Danny is just so immature. She wants to give everybody all this advice, but you don't even listen to your own stuff. It's crazy. So Preston comes up to the job, okay? And he says that he's coming up here to surprise her. He wanted to put something in her car. So then Danny goes into now, she's frequently said how he invades her space. He uses his white privilege like the time to get the key to get into her apartment and, all this, that, and the third. But it was a benefit to you when he was doing all those things, when he was making you steak dinners and putting groceries in your house, and when he paid your rent up for 6 months. You didn't have no problem with him using his privilege for that. It's really it's so convenient for me, to me that Danny finds she loves all the things that Preston is doing for her. But she really, I don't think Danny really wants to be with Preston. And she's sitting up here wasting his time. You did all of that when he was going back to the girl from back home that wanted to marry him and wants to be with him. He's made it very clear what he wants to do. He wants to be with you. He wants to be your man. He wants to court you properly. He wants to love you properly. And you just not allowing the man to do that. And it's really annoying and frustrating to watch. So then she says, so here's Tony, the guy that she is basically throwing it all away for, and you don't even know him. You've only been around him on a couple of occasions. Now, let's talk about Mr. Tony. Tony is a bit of a stalker to me. Tony has been watching you from his black RAPE van in the back, okay? Why are you a grown man riding around in this type of van? Now, if y'all remember, okay, Gary did warn Andy, saying that a lot of those men that are on the apps that she met, they do things to women and, this, that, and the third. And there's some trafficking going on in there. So I'm like, Tony, you and your van are giving me a raised eyebrow. Okay. Are y'all a part of this crew? Is this kind of y'all shtick where y'all go out and meet women and wine and dine them and treat them, this, that, and the third, and really be nice to them? And then you end up turning crazy? Is that what it is? And all of y'all have said that y'all don't want to get married again. So it's like, Danny, what do you want? You over here wasting your time, wasting Preston's time. I don't know what you're trying to do with this Tony guy. And Tony's sitting up here basically stalking you, listening to your conversations, acting like he knows everybody that's around you. And he's talking about he pretty much thinks he knows Preston. But you've never seen Preston before. And he seemed really shocked when he saw Preston in person. Mind you, Preston looks better than you, sir. He absolutely does. I don't know what Danny is doing. And he's proven himself to be better than you because he's put more time in and proven that he can be what she needs him to be. It's just whether she's going to allow it. Tony, you haven't shown her anything. You've said a lot of things. And I don't know what Tyler Perry is trying to do here with this, to say that, oh, she wants everything that that Preston is doing, but she wants it from a black man, maybe. I don't get it. I don't get it. So Tony keeps on interjecting, and he's like, well, maybe I should go inside. And then Preston's like, no, you should stay. What's going on? Is this the man that you were talking to the other night on the phone? And what's going on? Why are you trying to push up on my girl, basically? Then Danny is like, okay, Tony, you can just go inside. And Tony's like, oh, no, maybe I'll stay. And then Preston's like, what are you doing here? Just go inside. I'm like, okay. Tyler Perry, you got to start writing lines for people, because you over here, this is a clear indication that you be having people standing up here making up their own damn lines. And you just be like, okay, here's the scenario. Go for it. Okay. We got to stop doing that, because that's why none of this stuff makes any sense. So moving on, Tony ends up going inside, and Danny is saying, telling Preston, I told you about popping up to my job. You're just invading my privacy. And how did you get a key to my car and all this? Danny, he's basically living with you. That's just like if you locked yourself out of your car, you would have called him because he's in your house to have him come and let you back in your car. Mind you, he's coming to put a surprise in your car, and he got surprised when he got there because you out here being a little thought bucket. Danny, figure out what the hell you want to do because you in this back and forth with Preston, stringing him along, trying to make him feel like he's a bad person. He not treating you right. He don't know you. Blah blah blah. It's really getting old to me, and I'm tired of it. So y'all, moving on to the next scene. Oh wait, let's go back. Preston says he wants to have lunch with Danny to talk about this. And she's like, no, 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 I'm going to be busy. I told you about coming up to my job. It's okay for him to come up to your job when you want him to chase after you, but you don't want him to come. All of a sudden, you don't want him to come up to your job and take you to lunch. You don't never want to be on time, but now you want to be on time to see Tony. I rest my case. In this scene, we have Andy in the office. This is right after the lawyer comes in, the DA comes in and says that he's going to drop all the charges against Sabrina and Maurice. Okay. I'm so glad that we finally closed out that story. One of 50 that need to be closed out in this daggone series. But Andy, all she really did was just host them in her office because apparently the guy was close by. She didn't really do much, but if that's either here nor there. They're sitting in there. Sabrina's excited, and then Maurice begins to be negative, talking about and your shoes and that jacket your outfit is this and that and the third. First of all, Maurice was about to jack it all up for them with his mouth. It's like, I don't really get the sassiness of it all that he's giving. It has poor placement. Like, you just sitting up here being nasty and so rude for no reason. I don't get it. I don't know what this tension is that he has with Andy because she seems to be the one that he tries to be the nastiest with, talking trash. Maybe it's because Andy put him in his place and was like, you know what, you're not going to talk to me like that. Maybe he don't like the fact that she put him in his place. But at the end of the day, Maurice, find your story. Because this right here, this is whack. I don't like it. It's not giving him any purpose on the series. Like, and then the fact that this person that's playing him is not even really a gay man. Well, that's what they're insinuating out here. But I don't know. Brian Jordan, he may be. Who knows? I don't know. I don't really care. But it's given why. What are we doing, Maurice? What are we doing? So then Andy and Sabrina talk about briefly about the night before, and she asks if the guy has called her. And she's like, no, he hasn't called me. Ask Andy if her guy has called her back. And she says, no, he hasn't called me. But, I'm not even going to hold my breath. Like, whatever. I'm not going over there if he doesn't call me back. And so Sabrina's like, well, just give him some time. I'm sure he's going to call. He's going to call, I'm sure. So here go Andy getting ready to set it up for her to play some daggone games, child. So moving on. Now we're in the office with Fatima, Zach, and the lawyer that is going to take on their case for him to help them to get Zach's son. So obviously Zach's son, he has been abused by numbers of the biological mother's suitors. He's been left in the house by himself. Like, it's just a whole lot of foolishness going on. And I really don't understand why on earth nobody has called on this lady. Now, the lady that was hanging out the window from 227, I just say she's from 227. I don't really know if she is for real, y'all. But anyway, the lady that be hanging out the window, being nosy, whatever the case may be, she has not called for real. So she said that she called, and she said that she's put in reports, but the reports are not showing up. So I'm like, the lawyer is like, yeah, it's kind of hard for us to say that something's going on because, we don't have anything on record that she's doing anything. Like at this point, she looked like a perfect parent, or a reliable parent at that. So I'm just not understanding. I don't understand. From all this stuff that's going on, the mind your business realm has to stop in real life. If people are just not calling child protective services on people that have these types of situations going on with their children, that's a problem. And I feel like this probably happens in real life. So they're in here trying to get an emergency hearing, okay? Because obviously Zach wants to get his kid. He wants to make sure that, he can raise him in a healthy environment, because who knows what these people are doing to, he obviously has a glimpse of what these men are doing to his son when he's not around and when his mom is not around. And he's basically left to his own devices over there to take care of himself. And he's only like 4 or 5 years old, which is so, so sad. I just pray that they get this hearing and Zach can do what he needs to do to get his son. So they move forward. They move on. Oh, I put that up too quick. They walk down the hallway, and Zach and Fatima, because Zach walks out of there thinking that the lawyer is trying to push up on Fatima, and Fatima is like, "Sir, he don't want me. He would rather have you." Which I didn't even understand why that part needed to be played. I don't know if that's Tyler Perry's way of trying to show how jealous Zach is, or whatever the case may be, but whatever. So they walk down the hall to Fatima's office, and here come Hayden with his big head. He's coming over there saying, "Hey, I just want you guys to know I'm happy." And they're like, "What the hell are you happy about? Whatever." And so he's like, I'm a married man now. So he's telling his little story. Then Zach and Fatima obviously know where this chick comes from. Like, she is there to basically drain him dry of his money. But I don't know what the plan is now. I really don't know what the plan is, because that was the plan originally. But now she seems to have her own agenda. Maybe she actually ended up liking the dude, and now she's going to be with him. Who knows? But his wife, child, I forgot her daggone name already. She comes over, and he presents her to his friend, not to friends, child, yeah, not his friends, to Zach and Fatima. Okay. Fatima already knows what's going on, because she's the one that obviously hired homegirl to do the dirty bed. So she's standing there, and then Zach says, "You know what? I'm happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Now you can leave us alone." And Hayden's wife is looking like, "What you mean, leave y'all alone? What is he doing to y'all that I need to know about? Like, what's happening?" So Hayden tries to brush over that, because obviously he don't want to reveal the fact that he was all stalking Fatima and doing the daggone most because she didn't want him anymore. So then they go into, showing the ring and all this, that, and the third. And Zach is just like, "Yeah, I really hope you guys do well. Like, you deserve her. Like, really, really, you deserve her." I'm like, okay, this scene is obviously way too long. Zach, you are doing way too much. I thought he was going to end up giving up the background story and say that, "Oh yeah, she basically got with you to take all your money." I'm glad he didn't reveal it all, because I'm like, okay, Zach, shut up. Just bask in the fact that Fatima's plan is working and go on about your day. But they were basically like, "You know what? I'm glad he with her. Whatever she gonna do to him, that's on him. And yeah, long as he leaving us alone, that's all that matters." Because yeah, at this point, you don't even need to be messing with them no more, Hayden. Move on and live your life, okay? So now we're at the airport. Danny is on the phone with Sabrina. Sabrina is telling her, "Hey, I got off. I'm so excited. I ain't got to go to the booty house, well, the coochie house at this point. And I ain't got to be worried about being in jail for 50 years for something I did not do, sis." Okay. So Danny is happy for her, but her voice is kind of subdued because she's still reeling about what happened that morning with Preston. So Sabrina's like, "What's wrong with you? Something's wrong in your voice." And Danny's like, "No, no, I'm okay. I'm really just excited for you. I hope everything goes well." Then she said, well, yeah, I'm probably slightly sounding weird because this morning, Preston comes up here, invading my privacy in my space, talking about something. He want to put something in my car to surprise me. And then here comes Tony. It's just a mess. So Sabrina is like, oh, that's really nice of him to come and give you a gift. Like, what's your problem? And Danny is like, I'm just tired of him like coming up thinking he can do whatever he wants. I'm like, Danny, okay, girl. You just trying to find a reason not to like this man at this point. Now you mad at him for coming up here to bring you a gift. Why you not mad at Tony for constantly listening to your conversations? I feel like Danny is sickly intrigued by this stuff because she's like, well, he's listening to my conversations and invading my privacy, but I feel like he knows me better. I feel like in her head, that's her sick way of rationalizing this. Like, at least he's taking the time to get to know me. No, he's taking the time to groom you, to kidnap you. That's what it sounds like to me. But that I don't trust Tony. I don't trust Tony far as I can throw him. So she gets off the phone with Sabrina because obviously Tony is walking up to be nosy. Okay. So he comes up, they're talking, and he's apologizing. He's like, you know what? I just want to apologize for this morning. I'm so sorry. But I just want you, I never, I thought I knew Preston. First of all, you don't know any of these people. You're just going off of what Danny is saying as you're being nosy in her conversations. You don't know any of these people. So he goes on to apologize to her about what happened that morning. And then he's like, but I hope I'm not being rude, but you know, I never thought he would be white. Why? Why can't he be white? He said, I just always pegged you as a person that would just date black guys. You just very soulful and about your heritage and this, that, and the third. You, Tony, you don't know her. Okay? You don't know Danny. Stop it. You sitting up here acting like you know this lady because you done eavesdropped on enough of her conversations in your opinion. You don't know shit about her. You don't. So why are you sitting up here making all these assumptions and assertions about her character that you have no idea about? It's very annoying. It really, really is. I don't know what Tyler Perry trying to do with these two, but whatever. You like it, I love it. Moving the hell on. Fatima goes into the office with Andy because she's getting ready to go home for the night. And she tells Andy about what happened with the lawyer and how she's really scared for baby Michael because she feels like he's not going to survive. She's feeling like from the way that these men are treating him and the way the mother is just allowing people in and out, she's really, really scared for his safety. And she's trying to get an emergency hearing and she doesn't know if that's really going to happen. So she's really, really hoping this stuff works in their favor. So as she's talking about that, and Andy is, basically being a friend and trying to help her figure out how they can get this working, Jordan calls. So Fatima picks up the phone because Andy is over here ignoring him. He done called twice and she ignored it. Fatima picks up the phone and says, Andy Barnes' office. And she gives Andy the phone. So Andy playing games, acting like she don't know who he is on the phone. And then he's like, this is Jordan. Yeah, we met, last night. And, I just wanted to call and make sure you were coming over. And Andy all acting like she busy. I'm like, girl, you ain't got shit to do. And why are you playing games with this man? Obviously, let me say this, women, and I'm a married woman. And I don't know if y'all will take my advice or not. Okay. I got married. I met my cousin, child, not my damn cousin, my husband. Okay. That was my cousin texting me while I was talking. My husband, when I was in college. Okay. We had no intentions of being together initially. But as time went on, we realized, okay, maybe God put us together because we seem to be the yin to each other's yang. Okay. Everybody is not as lucky, I guess, in a sense, to meet somebody in college. There's some people that met people in college and then they got a damn divorce. But let me get to the point. One thing I never did was play games. I was very open. Listen, I like you. I want to be with you. If that ain't the case, then let me move on. Period. And I was in my 20s. Andy is over here playing games. Hell, Danny playing them too. And sometimes so is Sabrina. All of these women are playing games. And it's like y'all are too damn old to be acting like this. Y'all are in your mid to late 30s over here playing games with these men trying to play hard to get. Let me tell you something, honey. You are in Atlanta, Georgia, and a man, not not let alone a straight man, is very hard to find. So you over here playing games with this man, girl, stop. Girl, stop. Cause Andy, you are attractive, but you ain't all that, sis. And you think you the cream of the crop. And honey, that's why you getting bogged down by people like daggone Gary, because they can control you because your ass is materialistic. But let's just move on. Fatima is like, girl, she breaks into the conversation and says, oh, Andy, that dinner that you said you were going to, that she tried to lie and use so that she wasn't going over Jordan's house, that's been canceled. So your schedule is now freed up. So now Andy can't play these little games with the guy. So now she says, okay, I'll be over there. So she gets off the phone and Fatima was like, listen, you got to stop playing these little games with this man. He don't even have enough game to be going back and forth with you. He sounded so nervous on the phone talking to you. So this ain't the one to be playing games with. You don't need to do that with him because he seems upfront and genuine. So she's like, you're right, I guess. Okay, whatever. So Fatima ends up, they talk about Zach. She's like, how do you know Zach is the one? And Fatima ends up saying something to the effect of she doesn't want to be alone or whatever the case may be. But that's not true because Fatima threatens to leave Zach every 5 minutes. If you do this, once I get to that point, there's no turning back, Zach. There's no turning back. And this, that, and the third. Girl, you full of Schmidt. That's what you are, Fatima. Okay? Just say that you love him. You're dealing with all, she was like, she's dealing with all the stuff that Zach is going through because it happened before her, which I can appreciate. That's fine. But it ain't because you afraid to be alone, sis. You are not afraid to be alone. Okay? Because you threaten to leave Zach every 5 damn minutes. And one day he gonna be like, girl, okay, bye. Like he did on Zatima. But then he gonna be like Martin at the door, Gina, Tima. Come on back. I didn't mean it. Mm-hmm. So moving on, y'all. We got Bio and his disrespectful bitch made ass over Sabrina's house. Now, Sabrina, you did use this man, sis. I ain't even gonna front on you. Okay. You used this man to the core. It was good. It was fun when it was working out for you, where he's paying for stuff and you saw that he had all this money in his account and he was worth something to you. Now you don't have no use for him, so you getting rid of him. And honestly, people keep on talking about him being homophobic or whatever. I don't really see that. I see that as he didn't like Maurice's attitude because he didn't like the way that Maurice was talking to Sabrina. He was saying a person like him, not because he likes men. But that's either here nor there. I don't think that he was being homophobic. I think he just didn't like Maurice because Maurice is fucking disrespectful, but whatever. So Sabrina is like, she want to cut ties with him because of how he treated her friend. But I'm like, girl, he paid your friend's bond. Like, what? Just tell this man you ain't really fooling with him and you really rocking with Rich, the new guy that you met, because he's attractive, tall, dark, and handsome, and you just short, dark, and gremlinish. Okay, just say that. So he says, all of you American bitches, or you are all just users, and da 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 da. And Sabrina, like, I know you fucking lying. Who the hell is you calling a bitch? Because he says, oh, that's great that you got off. Can we go to lunch or dinner to celebrate? And she's like, no, I think I'm good on celebrating with you. I ain't really rocking with you like that. Maybe, we can be friends down the line. Sabrina, that's where you have a problem. That's where your problem is. You always want to leave the door open for somebody to be your friend. You don't need to be friends with these ninjas. You absolutely do not. Okay? Moving on. So she ushers him out the door, and as he's getting ready to leave, here come Danny. She's like, who you calling a bitch? Because she heard him call her a bitch. And she's like, yeah, you will want to get the hell up on out of here before we end up whooping your ass, okay? And don't you come back, hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more, okay? So he leaves with an attitude, okay? But I'm sure Sabrina be done brought him back because she just as toxic as all get up, okay? So her and Danny talk, and Danny is like, yeah, I just want to have some fun tonight. I need something to wear. First of all, I didn't notice Sabrina and Danny wore the same size, but okay. So they go in her room so that Sabrina can get Danny something to wear, and Danny says, briefly makes fun of the way that Sabrina dresses, which that lets me know that Tyler reads the comments because people always got something to say about Sabrina's clothes. Now, the way that Sabrina dresses, it fits her, but I can't really see that like translating over to Danny well. I don't know. But moving on. They getting dressed to go out tonight because Danny want to go over there. But at that point, if I'm Sabrina, if I'm your friend, I'm gonna be like, girl, you're with Preston. Why are you going over here? Now I get it. Last night we were all together and you were just kind of there. But now you're making a conscious decision to go over here and cheat on Preston. Like, girl, what? But anyway, moving on. Karen goes over to be a part of the Make a Wish Foundation for kids, leaving shit on Zach and Fatima's door. Girl, why are you over here? All your money that you have, you need to be buying a car seat for your own damn baby and going and doing stuff for your own freaking kid. Because, girl, what? One Karen is so bipolar. One minute you pissed off at Zach, cussing him out. You're mad that he with Fatima. Now all of a sudden you know he has a kid, and you just want to try to be the fairy godmother. Girl, no. Buy stuff for your own child. How about figure out who your baby daddy is? Because I'm not convinced so much that it's Zach. Okay. So Zach comes out and he's like, thank you, but what are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. And then they get into a conversation of, so the son that you had, even though you had him while we was together. And Zach was like, girl, we were not together, Karen. We broke up so many times, it ain't even funny. Like, we broke up so many times. So this definitely happened when we were broken up. But I'm like, Zach, that's funny. You didn't even remember this chick. You didn't even remember having sex with her. So now all of a sudden you remember that it happened when you and Karen were broken up. Okay, whatever. Okay. So they're having a conversation. He tries to make sure that she understands that this didn't happen when they were together. Karen is like, well, I'm just trying to take some time to myself because my focus is me and this baby. And he's like, yeah, and Aaron. And she's like, nope, that's over. And I'm just focusing on me and my baby. That was when, at that moment, even though she was coming over being nice slightly, I would have been like, yeah, speaking of you and your baby, I think it really makes sense for us to get a blood test. That's when I would have had Zach say that, because I'm really just tired of this too. We got to wrap up the Karen and her baby situation, because you can't just run around and say Zach is the father of your kid and you don't have any proof. Just because Aaron isn't doesn't mean that Zach is. So Tyler Perry, get the blood test, because none of this makes any sense. Moving on. Now, Andy, girl, you look good. Okay. This outfit, now, first of all, royal blue, or really more specifically, cerulean blue, is my favorite. This is my favorite shade of blue that she has on. This is absolutely gorgeous. It amazingly goes against her skin. Like, Andy, girl, you looking like the bomb, girl. Okay, you're looking like the bomb. I loved it. As soon as I saw it radiate off the screen, I said, ma'am, you did the damn thing with this outfit. Okay. So Andy comes in. All the ladies are excited because they're getting ready to go out. And she has a comment about Danny's outfit. Now, Danny has these shoes. I didn't really see nothing wrong. Like, the flowers, I don't know if that's necessarily Danny or whatever, but it didn't look terrible. but it didn't look great. So Andy says something about the outfit, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know if it really." Damn, Andy, you look good, girl. I just have to say that again. Jewelry is perfect. The built body, child. When I get off here, I'm getting on the damn. Let me go down here and get on my damn bike and the treadmill, child. But moving on. Danny says to Andy says to Danny, "You sure? Aren't your feet hurting?" Like she's trying to make excuses for her to take this outfit off. And Danny says, "My friend just beat several charges. I am here for her. She chose this outfit for me and I am wearing it gladly." And Sabrina is over here like, "Girl, what? What's wrong with this outfit? I did a good job, girl. Don't come for me and my dressing skills." So they end up leaving out and going over to the guy's house. Now, in the next scene, we have Fatima and Zach talking. Now, Zach then cooked dinner. She comes home and they're basically going over what happened with the lawyer and what they're going to do to get Michael back. So she's like, "Let's just go get him." And Zach is like, we can't do that because then I'm going to get a kidnapping charge. And then what you going to do? Then how we going to act? And then Fatima was like, "Yeah, you're right." But Zach was like, "I love how you always, got my back or whatever the case may be. But I'm just praying that this all works." But I think at the end, they ended up going over. I think in the next episode, we're going to see them sitting outside of her house, like ready to go in there. So I don't know what the hell they doing, but hopefully he can do what needs to be done to get the kid back. And she did bring up when she first walks in that she saw Karen as she was pulling up, leaving. She's like, "Oh, who cooked the dinner? Karen." I'm like, "Girl, now you know good and damn well. I don't know why you still over there messing with him about Karen, but this man is not playing about you and that Karen situation no more." Ever since Zach said in that grocery store, "Karen, get it through your head." And that's what I wanted him to do. When she saw them in the grocery store with the baby, and she's like, he said to her, "This is my love. This is my life. This is my wife. I love her. I'm in love with her." Like, get it through your head. I loved the fact that he stepped up and said that because it needed to be said. I'm tired of this, "Oh, Karen, but I love you too" stuff. No, stop playing with crazy people's minds because crazy people do crazy shit. And that's what Karen is doing because you keep on leading her on. You have got to stop doing that. Gotta stop doing that. So I also wanted to point this out. DeVal, are we doing a little Beijing stuff? Little spray paint of the head. Um, are we losing our hair in the top, sir? Because I noticed there's always like a 5 o'clock shadow on his head. Huh. I guess it happens to everybody eventually, men. But it's happening for sir. It's happening. Moving on. We get to the house, okay? So the ladies arrive. They looking good. Okay, they look amazing. Smell even greater. Rich and Jordan meet them at the door. Andy is sort of impressed by the place that Jordan lives in. Okay, apparently Jordan is a retired ex-football player. Um, and he got a little coin. Got a little coin. Okay. So he's excited to see Andy. He says that she looks great. The ladies come in. I didn't understand why they all left their purses on a chair. You don't know these men. Take your purse with you. Okay. Take your purse with you. Because who knows, somebody break into their front door and then be coming in there, snatch your purse or whatever, and then you be stuck with these men. Take your purse with you, but I'm moving on. They go in the back. Now, mind you, when they walk back here, girl, ain't no way you ain't see Gary over there at that bar. There ain't no way that you didn't see this man standing over at this bar. Y'all are just full of crap, okay? So everybody greets each other, asks if they need if somebody want a drink, and this, that, and the third. Jordan is googly eyed over Andy, Rich over Sabrina, and Tony over Danny. And Danny is doing team too much for somebody that has a boyfriend. What are you doing? What are you doing? So moving on. Jordan says, "Hey, Andy, I want you to meet my friend Gary." Andy looks like a deer in the freaking headlights. Gary is over here looking like the bartender on Three's Company. What on the Love Boat? I'm sorry. What are you doing? What are you doing here, Gary? First of all, we know Gary said to Andy that she has access. He knows the owner of that site that she was on, the dating app. And he has access. So that means he will have access to the site. So you went in there, you told Hayden that you didn't care who she was matched with and all this, that, and the third, and how you can figure it out. Hayden was like, you want to know who she's out with, don't you? You did want to know. You did. So you went in there, figured it out. And then it happened to be one of your little friends. So, or apparently he must notice Jordan because he's done some investments with him, apparently. But also, are you doing this? I feel like Tyler Perry is going to try to spin this where he's in here to try to protect Andy because Andy, Jordan is one of those trafficker people on the low and he's going to hurt Andy. So he's coming to protect her. Or I also think that Jordan said something about Gary is with his sister and the sister is pregnant and that's his fiance. So this could take two different turns, okay? So Gary, you on here looking like a fool and possibly could just be getting caught off guard right here because you didn't know that Andy was coming over here, but that's very highly unlikely. I'm pretty sure Jordan have said Andy's name to you. So you didn't look too shocked when she walked through the door. I think he was just shocked because he didn't think that Andy would really come over. I think he thought that he had Andy so brainwashed that, yeah, the first date was cool, but she wouldn't come back again. Who knows if there's several scenarios that are at play here, but child, we just gonna have to figure it all out. Thank y'all for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that's hanging on with us with Sistas. I'm gonna tell y'all, the Sistas reviews have been quite infrequent because the episodes just haven't been given, and I just didn't want to come on here and give y'all a 5-minute review because that's exactly what they would have been. So today I just kind of gave bits and pieces of the episodes we missed and this one. So I'm going to try to stick it out, y'all. I really am excited to see what season 7 is going to bring. I'm going to give it the first 3 episodes I'm going to finish this out this season and give the first 3 episodes a look on season 7 so I can see what the writers are doing because I want to really see these people's acting chops. It feels like with Sistas in its current state, there's no lines, there's no real story, we don't have much of a background of the ladies. It's just not, there's no sense of completion with anything. And then there's no positivity. It's all drama. Like nothing good is happening to these women. And when anything good happens to them, they seem to self-sabotage. That's not the life of all women, okay? That's not the life of all men either. I just want to see some reality. That's all. Art imitates life, okay? And this ain't life on here. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for watching, and I will see you in the next episode, next video. Peace out.